Welcome back to another episode of The Whole Perspective. My name is Kevin Delory, Chief Lending Officer here at EPM. As always, joined by my good friend and Senior Vice President of Lending at EPM, Kenny Phillips. Today we have a very special guest. I can't wait to jump in, Kenny, after you do the intro, because I got a lot of good questions with Karis on the hot seat.
I can't wait. Well, let's get ready. She is the SVP of Business Development at AIME, which is the Association of Independent Mortgage Experts. The mission is to establish a community of independent mortgage experts by creating an association that empowers them with the tools, resources, and support necessary to successfully advise consumers nationwide. There's no one better to help lead that force than Karis. She possesses over 10 years experience in the mortgage industry with an extensive knowledge of both sales and leadership. Karis is a mentor to many, and every day proves that, with a care and passion for the industry to get better and continuing to support the broker channel for more than ever years to come. So welcome, Karis.
Yes.
Kenny,
you'll use one better in that because they are better. So that was good.
Brokers are better.
That's right.
Well, yeah. I mean, whoops, sorry. Got to represent. There we go.
You know, I'm going to tell a quick story, and I normally do this because then Kenny gets angry. I do it before the intro, and they're like, why don't you? So we tweaked it. I'm going to tell the story now. So when I came here, I really didn't know what AIME was. I heard about it. I knew it from Brawl and thought it was, wow, this is something they really want to put us wholesale lenders out of business. That was my perception, being that I came from a company that was more important about the asset than the relationship. And as I get on the first call, I was like, man, I'm uncertain. I want to continue this relationship. And, Eddie was 100% all in on AIME. And as we went along and we grew, I got to know Karis. And it only took probably 2 phone calls for me to change my opinion, to realize what AIME was really about. It wasn't about putting wholesale lenders out of business. It was about holding their feet to the fire, do the right thing. Do the right thing about the brokers, to make sure the brokers could stay in business, to make sure that they got their leads back, because the cost to originate a loan is a lot. So when you're a wholesale lender where you're just going after that, you put your broker on the hook for all their marketing they did and all that cost to get that borrower just to steal it from them. Mm-hmm. So the more I got to hear from Karis and Katie, the more I said, I think I made a mistake about AIME. And that's one thing I'm very good at, is owning my mistakes. And I couldn't be happier with our relationship with AIME and Karis and Katie.
Yeah.
So you won me over, Karis. In the beginning, I'm sure you probably like, this guy looks like a real a-hole. He's being very cold to me the first call. And we got past it.
I mean, I wouldn't say you were being cold. You were being maybe a little bit more aloof, whatever, maybe non-trusting. And yeah, I think I remember when you kind of made that switch over, right? And I got a phone call from you totally random one day, and you're like, how many brokers are you guys sending to us for like connection requests and all these things? And I rattled off some numbers, and you're like, oh, okay, hold on a second. This is fantastic. Like, we're getting such great feedback from brokers where they're calling us, they're telling us about how great AIME is, they're working with us. Like, I'm all in now. And from that moment on, it was great. We had a great relationship. And I will say, Kevin and Kenny both have been so fantastic. And one of the things I love about working with EPM is that anytime any of our brokers have anything that comes up, and they'll come directly to me or they'll go into the Facebook group, whatever it is, I know that I can call Kevin, I can text him, I can call Kenny if I need to, if Kevin's not available. And within just a minute, they are on it. They're taking care of it. They're getting back to me. They're following up. And that's really all I can ask about our lenders and our partners that we work with is this is a two-way relationship, right? This is something that we are going to do everything that we can to help you be successful. And in those areas, it's and a lot of that is just answering brokers' questions, or when they come to me and they say, oh, I'm having this problem with this wholesale lender, or I'm stuck in underwriting, I can't get out of it. If I can call one of our partners like Kevin and just say, our broker's having this problem, can you please hop in and just help? I know you can't maybe push every single thing through, right? But at least call them back and just let them know that you're working on it. And I know that I can trust that with Kevin, Kenny, and the EPM team every single day. I mean, Kevin and I have texted over the weekend with things that have come up with brokers, and he's hopped on it like that. I mean, none of us want to be working on the weekends, but we do. That's a nature of our job, of what we're doing and helping brokers be successful. And that's what I love about EPM and these guys. They hop in and they're ready to help at any moment.
Thank you so much. That was got me, Kenny. You're gonna have to ask the next question.
No, it's
caught up.
Having a little technical difficulties over here
Oh,
with the speaker and the echoing. I'm sorry.
You're freezing up a little bit, but you know what's something? I always talk about community. I'll let you get through that issue, and and I always say that we want to be part of every community because it's about the people. It's not about the association. It's about the people in that association that make it great. It's about the community, but the community is all these people coming together and working together. And I will say that AIME to me is like the younger community, where there's a little bit of fun going on. And when they invite you in that neighborhood to a party, you better show up because it's going to be a great party. You know, we know AIME Fuse is coming up in just 2 short weeks away. You know, what can people expect from that event, and how do people sign up if they haven't already?
Yeah, so to expect from the event. So what I would say, what's unique about AIME events? So let's kind of talk about that, of what can you expect and why is our event so unique? I think with a lot of other events that happen in the broker community, and there's a lot of training that goes on. There might be a lot of things about, hey, how do you succeed in non-QM? How do you succeed in reverse mortgage? How do you succeed in these pieces? And you might have a 45-minute long session or an hour-long session about that. And while that is incredibly important, we know at AIME that they can always go to their lending partners to get that training, right? EPM has training courses. All of these companies have training courses. What we really want to focus on is, how can a broker be successful, especially in this market? We know that rates are going to change. I mean, they've been going up, they've been going down, but at some point they will come down, and we're going to be in a refinance boom. We know that is coming. And so what can we do to help set our brokers up for success when that happens? How can we help set them up for success in this purchase market right now? So we have some of the best sales trainers that are going to be presenting at AIME this year. We have Todd Duncan, we have Dale Vermillion, we have Renee Rodriguez. We have those folks that are coming in, and they're going to be speaking about what are some of the things that you can do to be successful in this market and in the future. And they all have very different perspectives, which is fantastic. That's what I like about having these different trainers come in, all very different perspectives. And so what I really think you're going to learn is, how do you be successful? How do you join this community? And how do you get to know people in this community who are going to help you? We get feedback all the time from our brokers, and you guys know a lot of these folks. Brian Shields is one of them, right? I talk to Brian all the time, and Brian is like, getting involved with this community was the best thing that I did for my career. Why? Because one, I get face-to-face time with executives at these lenders that I'm working with, which is so important. All these brokers want is to be able to speak with their partners and really feel like they're being listened to. And that happens at AIME events. The other thing is the community. I have been to conference after conference after conference in my 10 years in mortgage, and AIME Fuse is the one conference where everybody comes together and you're like, everybody's best friends here. And it is so great to see that in the broker community, because we know brokers work in silos across the country. You know, they might be part of a large broker shop, but however, they might be a one person in their office, right? They're not really surrounded by coworkers. And as much support as we can give them in the community to bring people together and know that they have a support system across the country is something that we do at Fuse. They can learn a lot, they can network, but really they're going to walk away with those tools that they can put into practice the next day to grow their business and start closing loans immediately. And that's really the focus of Fuse this year.
Nice. I don't know if I'm still echoing, but it's less than 2 weeks away. Are there tickets still available, and where can they find them?
Yep, tickets are still available. So we can drop the link in here, but all they got to do is go to aimegroup.com, go to the events page, and right there you can sign up for your tickets. And I can even give a $50 off coupon if you want. So people can just reach out to me directly. It's Karis at aimegroup.com. It's super easy. I can get people registered. I'll flip you over to our amazing engagement team if you're having any problems getting registered, and we'll get you guys going as soon as possible. But yeah, and we have 3 really fantastic summits happening this year: the Diversity Summit, Women's Mortgage Network Summit, and the VA Summit. And we're really excited about all 3 of those. Diversity Summit is going to be fantastic. Eddie is actually on a panel at our Diversity Summit. And the Diversity Summit is really focused on all different types of consumers that you might be working with, whether it is Black, Hispanic, disabled, gay, lesbian, whatever it is. How are we working with everybody in our community? And that is really what the Diversity Summit is going to be focused on this year. So we want to encourage everybody to come to that one, of course, because it's going to be fantastic.
We normally don't talk a lot about our industry on this show. We talk a lot about mindset. We talk about overcoming obstacles and all of these things. And the reason that AIME is on air is because I think you've heard us a lot talk about the numbers that we've grown over the last 2 years, over 500%, and all these great things we're doing. But honestly, and I'm going to give a little shout out to you guys because you guys deserve it. And it's a lot to do. We're not competitors. Say, what are you doing different? Well, we really believe what we say. We honor our word. We follow through. As everyone knows, we just doubled down in wholesale. By the end of October, there'll be 0 retail presence here at EPM. So talk about a true partner. Where we'll be looking out to our brokers to make sure that they're retaining our portfolio, making sure that they're calling their borrowers to resolicit them when it's time because the rates coming down, to your point, when a refinance boom comes up. But, a lot of people wonder why we're doing so great. It's our relationship we don't decide, like when I came in, I big about this, the community. I can't say I'm part of the broker community and not join every trade association. And I did say, you guys are like the fun neighbor, the fun younger neighborhood, right? But I'm going to go there, and I know I'm going to have a good time. And I know, the team, they got just a lot of energy. All the brokers that are a member of AIME. I would say this: if you're not a member of AIME, you're missing out, because they are more than just belonging to an association. They're a true partner in your success. They care about your success with your escalations and everything else. And trust me, I never want to get an escalation, but when I do, I get why. Because somebody's on the other end, a borrower, a broker that is experiencing pain. So I can't say borrowers are best. And then, borrowers are the best. Brokers are the best. But the end game, borrowers are better. Borrowers are the best.
It's about the consumer.
Yeah. I can't say that and not be willing to be open to take some of those things. And that's something you guys do that the others don't. So I would tell anyone, if you're looking for a partnership, if you're a broker and you say, I want to be supported, AIME is the way to go. If you're a wholesale lender and you're not a wholesale lender, you got to join this association. It is truly a value. It's been an asset to our growth. So thank you for that. And that's why we're talking so much about an association on the show today, is because I feel grateful to have a partner like that, because Kenny and I wouldn't be able to accomplish what we have without AIME in our corner.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that. We wouldn't be able to do what we do today if it wasn't for partners like you, right? I mean, like I said, this is a true partnership. And if you want to talk again, some of the differences between, how we operate and how AIME operates, we want to partner with you. We do not want to put you over here on the side and just say, thank you, we appreciate, here, we'll send out a couple of social posts about you. It is important that when a broker calls us and they have an issue, I know that I can go right directly to my partner and I can talk to them about it. And that is, to me, the most important piece of how Kevin, to your point, how we help our members be successful. So it's not just about an event. It's not just coming to Fuse. It's a year-round thing that we're doing to help our brokers be successful.
That's great. I tell you, I had an opportunity to spend some time with you and Katie down in DC and doing some lobbying. And I don't think a lot of people know that you guys have that advocacy arm attached to AIME. Can you talk a little bit about the advocacy part of it and what's coming up in the future for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we launched our advocacy initiatives about 18 months ago. And we launched our PAC in July of last year, so just a little over a year ago. And Katie Sweeney, Brendan McKay are amazing. So Katie is incredibly just passionate about advocacy for brokers and really leveling the playing field. Let's talk about that, and also about just doing what's best for the consumer. How can we make changes on the federal level that's going to benefit the consumer ultimately in the end? And that is really a big focus of theirs and of Brendan's as well. But we launched our PAC in July of last year, and within the first 24 hours, we raised $325,000. And what is amazing about that is that those were brokers that contributed to that. 90% of those contributions were from individual brokers, not from lenders. And there's differences in how you can actually, give to a PAC and donate to a PAC. But those were all from brokers. And shortly after that, about 6 months later, we launched the Broker Action Coalition, which is our nonprofit, what we call a C4, that supports all of our advocacy initiatives. So really what that does, when our members and when people give to the Broker Action Coalition, that goes directly to those initiatives that we are doing to help further the broker community, to level that playing field. So Katie and Brendan spend probably a week a month in DC. I don't know if everybody is really fully aware of how much work they are doing and how many hours out of the month they spend on advocacy efforts, but it's a constant thing. We launched our state captain program earlier this year. We had, so initially looking for 2 state captains per state. We had hundreds of applications that came in, hundreds of applications of brokers across the country who, wanted to be involved, wanted to get involved at the state level, wanted to get involved at the federal level. And so we launched our state captain program. We now have at least 2 state captains in just about every state. Some states have a little bit more. But when we did the National Mortgage Broker Day event in DC back in July, the whole purpose of that event was to bring our state captains into DC, train them, get them set up and ready to go, and then get them out there. Go meet with your state legislators. Go find out what these issues are that are affecting you and consumers within your state. How can we help more borrowers in your state? How can we help veterans? How can we help people who are typically underserved in our communities? What can we do to push this legislation through to really make a difference? And I believe brokers are the ones who are going to be able to do that. Why? Boots on the ground in their community. I love that these large banks get involved in advocacy things, right? That's important. That is really good to do. But where are you going to see that difference made? In your hometown with those brokers who are in the community and knowing exactly what the struggle is with their community and the people that they work with. That's why I think our advocacy efforts with these state captains, this is why we are going to be able to make a huge difference in our industry. And I'm so grateful for Katie and Brendan to lead this effort and the sheer amount of hours that they're putting into this. And I would just encourage anybody, if you have $5, $10, whatever it is, give to the Broker Action Coalition. This is what's going to make the difference in our channel for the next 10, 15, 20 years. We do not want our members and our brokers to be left behind. We represent you, and we are here to make your life easier, better, and make the consumer's life better as well. We want more people in homes. That is what we want, and that's what we're here to do for our community.
You're right. You have to put your money where your mouth is. I can't sit here and say, my livelihood, my future contends on brokers being successful.
Right.
So I immediately donated twice. 2 people sent me the link. I said, "Oh, I didn't get yours when you sent it to me." It's because you gotta. Kenny's wearing the shirt. Talk is cheap. Take action. But I gotta say, I've really watched you, and I don't think I've ever said this to you, evolve over the last since I've known you, into becoming more and more of a leader within AIME. Yeah. At the beginning, you were just kind of like, just going along, and then I just watched every call you got. It seems to get more and more confident. You were more and more, every show, every dinner we've had where you're at the table, your conversation is different, next level, showing your leadership. And a lot of people don't know this, and Kenny mentioned it when he introduced you, but you're a mentor to so many. Where does that come from? And what about leadership do you enjoy? Where does that mentor, you got to have it deep down inside. It's like some people say they want to be a mentor, but they really don't. They just want it for their own ego, and they don't do it. You do it because you want to do it. So that had to come from somewhere, whether in your upbringing or your work experience, and your leadership is just next level, in my opinion, over the last 2 years. What about that has been fun for you?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I like to tell people that I like to kind of hang behind the scenes, and that is kind of where I feel the most comfortable, and just kind of being back there. I think for me, I've never been about self-recognition, right? And like you said, I actually don't like to be put up on stage, but frankly, it makes me uncomfortable to be recognized. So when people are saying, "Oh, Karis did this" or whatever, I actually don't. It makes me uncomfortable. And I have a tendency to play it off a little bit, right? Because I don't do this for myself. I really am just wanting to help as many people as possible. So if I think back to growing up, I had some great role models in my life. My sister, who is, again, she's not the type of person who wants to be on stage and that, but my entire life, she's worked a commission only job her entire life. So my sister sells auto paint and supplies to body shops. Okay. She's done that since my dad owned a body shop way back in the day. So my dad owned a body shop, had an auto paint and supply store there. My sister started selling auto paint supplies for him when she was 16. Okay. So Lisa has always been commission only. She hustles, and that is not an easy industry to be in. It's a male dominated industry, but she knows what she's talking about. She talks to a painter and he is struggling with what, a typical, whatever, a paint or whatever it is. She can tell him exactly what to do to like make sure that job is done properly and what materials he actually needs to do that. And they trust her. And I think just living and seeing my sister and how she works, she's genuine, she's open, she's transparent. She's not trying to be I am woman, hear me roar, I'm the best out there. Like, that is not how she is, but she's constantly helping people. And that's where she gets her satisfaction in life. And I've watched her, I've watched my dad, I've watched my mom, and that is how they've all operated. It is about helping other people to help elevate them. And at some point, someday it'll come back to you, but that's not something you need to, it's not like, oh, well, it's going to come back to me, so I'm just going to, hopefully that's what's going to happen. It's really, you have to do it just to be genuine and really just be there to be like, it's not about me. It really isn't about me. There are bigger things in life, and it is not about me. And please don't even give me the recognition. I don't need it. All I want to see is you succeed and you do some really cool stuff. And I can sit there and be like, I know that person. Like, I've worked with them. Like, look at her. I look at Katie, and it's same thing. I've known her for 7 years, and I can look at Katie and be like, I know her. Like, she's doing great things. Look at her. And I am so lucky to know that person and be able to work with her. And that's really what it's about.
Amazing. So you have the flagship event coming up, Fuse, in a couple of weeks. What should we be looking out for with AIME for in 2024 in the year?
Advocacy. That is our big focus. So keep watching for that. Keep looking for those things those initiatives and those things that we're going to be going after. Katie and Brendan do monthly updates in advocacy within the Brokers Are Better Facebook group, within our VIP group. We have a newsletter that you can subscribe to that is a monthly advocacy newsletter. So just watch for that. That is what is going to be our big focus. We have to take advantage of the time that we're in right now. Again, people have time now, right? Rates are where they are. When rates drop, that's when people's time is going to be consumed, because everybody's going to be incredibly busy when that happens. And we know that. So let's take advantage of this time that we have to actually focus on that and start that ball rolling and make those differences, because once those rates go down, we're all going to be very distracted, and we need to really put that foundation in place today to make sure that we are ready for that coming up in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I would tell all brokers, I think at times people have their own preconceived notion. Now AIME's for the younger brokers, AIME's for this, AIME's for that. AIME is for the broker. You only have to take from it what you want. And if you don't want to, if you're not an event person and you don't want to go to, well, by the way, you missed out on great events. But if it's not for you, that's not for you. That's fine. But what they are at their core is what you need. And that is fighting for brokers, helping brokers get more business, continue to take away, market share from retail, everything they're doing. So don't let anyone define what AIME is, or don't you try to do that. Pick up the phone and have a conversation with someone like Karis. Have a conversation with somebody from AIME. And I guarantee by the time you hang up, you're going to say, man, I've been a part of all these associations. Why have I joined AIME? I should have joined it sooner.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have so much to offer. I think what happens is that you guys do such an amazing job in your events that everyone you are hands down the leader in great events, and there's no doubt about it. But don't miss what's happening at those events. Don't miss the closed door sessions. Don't miss the training opportunities. Don't miss the advocacy, the speeches, the speakers. I'm telling you right now, if you have not joined because you have a perception of what AIME is, you are missing the boat. And this is from a guy. Now, when I came in, you heard the first call. It was like, what is your value? I don't know if I need you here. That's a lot of money we're giving you. I know we're helping you, but I got to make sure I'm getting mine. And it took all but 3 minutes to be like, oh, whoops, what did I just do? I see the value. It's here. All I do is ask instead of coming in with this preconceived notion of what I thought it was. So I would tell anyone that's listening, I know I have a lot of my buddies here in New York and New Jersey, and they're still like, we're old school. Well, don't miss what's going on over here. They got old school work ethic, but they got new school technology and ideas that can help you grow your business. So don't think they don't get it, because they get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. We're open to any broker, young or old. And, we need to focus on training that next generation too, right? So we want these more seasoned brokers to be part of AIME. Why? You are going to help usher in that next broker, that younger generation. We need that in our industry so bad. We need that. It is I don't even know what the average age of a broker is today, but at 55, 60, somewhere around in there, we need that younger generation to continue the legacy of those older brokers. So please join, mentor younger brokers, help them be successful in this industry, teach them what, the struggles that you went through. These older brokers went through a lot of struggles. You know how to manage this environment, you know what to do. And just because maybe some of these younger people have not gone through that, or they might never go through it, right? That's okay. That's okay. If you have paved the way to make it hopefully easier for them. So embrace that and work with them so they can be successful.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, look no further two of our good friends, Lamont and Darius, with the sport of AIME. They've shot out like a rocket.
Yeah,
they are just crushing it in their, in their spaces, in their regions, and it's all because of, you ask them why, and they would tell you right out that it's a lot of the support I get from AIME.
Yeah.
So don't sleep on it.
Absolutely.
I tell you, the events are amazing. Like you said, Kevin, the brokers get so much out of it. The community gets so much out of it. I think the last few, you guys had almost 4,000 attendees. That's for a reason. There's a lot of benefit for joining AIME and being a partner of AIME.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it.
Well, Karis, we have a staple question here. You gave us a lot already. It's about defining value. So how do you define your value in our industry?
Oh, gosh. How do I define my value in this industry? I would say relationship building. That's really it. Relationships are so important, and I want to try to foster and build and connect as many people as I possibly can, so we can grow this industry and make it a great industry and really just help people. That's it. It's relationship building and connections. That is my value that I think I bring to this industry.
Hey, you won me over, and I'm a tough nut to crack. I would agree with that. You own that. I just wrap up one thing. It's funny. I believe it or not, I don't like talking about myself, and I know that about you, and I know how tough this has been, because it's tough to when people ask you questions of what's great about you, why you're such a good leader. And listen, it's one of those things. I never get comfortable with it. Am I comfortable talking on stages now? 100%. Obviously, there's a reason for my new hairdo, and I chose not to share that with anyone, because it wasn't because I was afraid of anyone knowing. It was because I didn't want to be put on a pedestal, like there's something special about me or I need something. 'Cause I don't need anything. I have it all in here and in here, and I'm going to kick the shit out of this thing. And actually, I like the new hairdo, and I may stay with it.
Well, you and Kenny could almost be twins.
I do think it's time to change the logo up now with our two.
I'll just have to grow a little bit. You got a little bit more hair than me.
I do agree. I do know where you're coming from, and this probably was a little bit uncomfortable when we're asking so many questions, saying good things about you, but it's well deserved. It's overdue.
Thank you.
You've been definitely in the passenger seat with, Katie along the way, and you guys are like Thelma and Louise, and
We are, yes.
and we wanted you to take the wheel today for a little while. We appreciate
Thank you. I appreciate that. And again, thanks you guys for all of your support. Thanks for having me on. I didn't know what to expect, and I appreciate it. This was fun. I always love talking to you guys. This is great.
And I know I'm the favorite. Sorry, Kenny. So I'm going to wrap it up with, thank you for everyone for tuning into Little Perspective. We appreciate it. You can always reach out to Kenny and I directly. It's pretty simple. Kevin at EPM.net, Kenny at EPM.net. If you have any questions, Karis is very easy to find. Make sure you check out AIME, and there's Karis at aimegroup.com. The three of us are always open to answer any questions. If you're a newer broker and you want to, hear the cut version about AIME, I'll give it to you. But I can guarantee when we're done, you're probably going to be emailing Karis at aimegroup.com. And you can always check us out on our Facebook group, which is Empowering Brokers Community. Something I've become passionate about. I could tell you that it's kind of our mini, fuse where we get together with them and talk about what we could be doing better. Don't ever be afraid to tell somebody what they could be doing better. That's what good partners do. And that's what, Karis has done to me and I've done to her. And I think that's what strengthens the relationship. So if you're a member of AIME and you think they could do something better, reach out to them. Or if you're not sure what they're doing, reach out to them and find out. But don't ever be afraid to ask the questions, because you're never going to get to know somebody without asking questions. Karis, you're a rock star. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Kenny, as always, it was a pleasure. Even though we're in the same office, I'll have to see you in a few minutes.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
That's all right. That's why we do it for each other.
But
Karis, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone tuning in.
Thanks,
We look
you
forward to
guys.
seeing you next time in The Whole Perspective.